watching the nation's best college newscast. 11 News at Noon starts now.
$1 Million Motors, a local company, is electrifying the auto industry nationwide with their revolutionary idea.
Canned contributions, how the shutdown has prompted members of the community to help those in need.
And Full House, these grandparents thought they were empty nesters until their baby birds came flying back home. I'm Matt Rescone.
And I'm Christy Jacinto. Welcome to 11 News at Noon. A multi-million-dollar federal contract is coming to Orem.
And one company says it could bring the electric auto industry to Utah. The auto industry isn't the first thing that comes to mind when looking at the Utah economy. But 11 News reporter Cameron Collins spoke with one Orem company who's trying to change that. Cameron, what's happening with VIA Motors?
Yeah, so the Department of Energy just awarded the company a $20 million contract, which VIA Motors says could shift the electric auto industry to here in Utah. Project to distribute their electric retrofitted vehicles nationwide.
Detroit is a traditional home of the auto industry, but the people at VIA Motors say the future is in Utah. The company recently announced getting a $20 million contract with the Department of Energy to electrify trucks and vans from major automakers. The company says local talent from universities is a big reason why they got the contract.
These cars now are a lot more high-tech than they used to be. A lot of software, a lot of computer skills have to go into this, a lot of networking skills. So the talent base here is really good for the next generation of automobiles.
West says the company will use the new money to supply electrified trucks and vans to 50 company fleets across the country. Orem officials say they aren't surprised to see local businesses starting to get national attention.
Anytime a local company gets a big opportunity like this, it's exciting for us. I think that the Orem area has a lot going for it. Utah Valley has a great quality of life.
VIA Motors is now looking for a location in Utah to build a new supply factory. Street says the city will work with VIA Motors to keep them here and create more jobs in Utah.
A few of the fleets that are part of the contract belong to Verizon, FedEx, and Coca-Cola. VIA Motors says they will save those companies hundreds of thousands of dollars long term.
So you said the company's here looking for local talent from the universities in the area. What type of talent are they looking for?
Well, what they want are computer skills. They say it's much easier to teach a computer programmer how to make a car than it is to teach a car maker how to program computers.
Right, yeah, makes sense. Thanks, Cameron.
We now have chilling footage of the car that was hit by not one but two trains when allegedly fleeing from the cops.
She's gonna hit a train.
Woods Cross police officers tried to stop a car they suspected was involved with a prior complaint, but the driver refused to stop. She was speeding down 2600 South when she ran into a moving train. As the officer tried to get the 29-year-old woman out of the car, another officer pointed out a second train. The officer was able to get out of the way just as the second train slammed into the already damaged car. Doctors at the University of Utah Hospital treated the woman for non-life-threatening injuries. She now faces possible evasion charges, and officers are investigating if alcohol was a factor. Two Willis Holiday gas station is paying for the mix-up that put 30 cars on the side of the road. Customers buying gas this weekend were surprised when diesel fuel came out of the unleaded pumps. Holiday Oil had accidentally put the wrong fuel in the wrong tank. The president of the company says he will pay customers who need their gas tanks flushed.
One Utah State University alum can now add Nobel Prize laureate to his resume. Lars Peter Hansen is one of three people awarded the 2013 Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics. Their research shows it's nearly impossible to predict short-term prices of stocks and bonds, but it is possible to forecast price fluctuation in the long term. Hansen is now a professor at the University of Chicago. He attributes his success to the school where he works.
I really feel like this environment here really is something special.
He also says the support of his professors at Utah State was a turning point in his academic career. Jury selection for a Pleasant Grove doctor accused of killing his wife begins today. Autopsy reports originally listed Martin McNeil's wife's death as natural, but his children asked police to reopen the case. Police now say that McNeil over-medicated his wife, Michelle, and drowned her in a bathtub. McNeil pleaded not guilty to charges of murder and obstruction of justice. Senate Democrats and Republicans are scrambling to come to an agreement on our nation's spending limits before the debt ceiling deadline on Thursday. If approved, government officials say they will raise the $16.7 trillion debt limit, enough to allow agencies to operate till mid-February, 1 month longer than the previous limit would allow.
As the government shutdown rolls on, federal workers are turning to community services for help. 11 News reporter John Hammond tells us how these services are stepping up.
Orange bins full of canned food provide relief for around 2,100 families a month at Provost Food Bank. With the government shut down, many federal employees are adding to the list of those who need help.
Government employees, those people aren't getting paid. And so in a few weeks, they're going to start needing help, and that's just going to push the food bank to their limits.
Severinson says the food bank will need volunteers, food donations, and money contributions.
Donating a can of food will give someone a meal for a day, but giving just $1 will actually provide up to 5 meals.
Utah's Workforce Services has felt the effect as well. They report a 45% increase in applications for assistance since the government shutdown. State officials say 2/3 of those applicants are federal workers on unpaid leave. A spokesman says Workforce Services is confident they can handle the larger load.
We've seen 8,000 or so claims since the shutdown. We're able to process all those. We're able to handle all those. The fund is intact for a long time, and so it's one of the best run public assistance programs that you could find throughout the nation.
Workforce Services says most of the applications were for unpaid wage assistance, not for new jobs. In Provo, John Hammond, 11 News.
Both programs want to provide help for those who need help. They say to apply for assistance online. Visit John's story on our website at 11news.byu.edu for links to each program.
When 11 News at Noon returns, not so empty nesters. When times get tough, these grandparents are finding new ways to help their kids save money.
And chocolate costs climb. If you have a sweet tooth, you might have to pay more for that sugary treat with cocoa prices on the rise. Many married couples with financial problems, health problems, or even cultural issues end up moving in with their parents. 11 News reporter Aya Khatib tells us about a new national trend in which multi-generational families are living together under one roof.
Ryan Walls never thought he would end up moving back to his parents' house after getting married and having 2 kids. But that's how things worked out.
It's financial reasons. The economy is not real great right now, and so by deciding to move in with our parents, we save a lot of money.
It's been 2.5 years since Ryan went back to his parents' house and says it's a bittersweet experience. It is sometimes helpful to have a built-in babysitter, and sometimes it's hard because you have 2 sets of parents in the same house.
A professor here at BYU says that this trend is well known in the Hispanic cultures. However, in the past 10 years, it has increased by 34% among U.S. families.
The parents and the grandparents, sometimes they're working together. They need each other's help, oftentimes in parenting these children, but sometimes also the grandparents need to step back a little bit and let the parents be the parents.
Ryan's father, Robert, says he enjoys having his son's family live with him, but he knows they will eventually get on their feet again.
No, I would do this again in a heartbeat, and every one of my kids is welcome to move in with their children if they need to in my home.
Wall says grandparents should work with their adult children to solve problems as soon as they arise. In Provo, Aya Khatib, 11 News.
So do multi-generational families enjoy living together or not? Aya says Dr. Jorgensen's research shows that the majority of multi-generational families are happy living together.
An earthquake rocks the Philippines, the fishing industry struggles in China, and chocolate prices rise worldwide. Here's your look at news from around the world. Rescuers are working around the clock to save Filipinos after a 7.1 magnitude earthquake hit the country. Officials say that at least 73 people are dead and almost 36 are missing. People are crowding the streets because officials say it's not safe to be inside. The quake centered near a town in the Bohol province, and there is significant damage in Cebu City. Live fish in Hong Kong are a high-scale market. That's why entrepreneurs are finding ways to grow fish indoors. Complete with deep-sea blue lights and 80,000 tons of water, this company is farming fish to send to local markets. 80% of this billion-dollar industry comes from outdoor fish farms like this one. But indoor companies may take over soon. And chocolate lovers beware. The price of your favorite goodie is going up. Bad weather in cocoa producing areas and high demand for the sweet treat means higher costs. Experts say that the industry will either increase the price, reduce the cocoa content, or reduce the size of your favorite candy bar. So don't be shocked when you hit the vending machine and see some not so sweet changes. And that's your look at news from around the world. Christy?
Thanks, Matt. So Chris, this morning as I was walking my car, it was so cold that there was frost on my windshield. What's going on with the weather right now?
Yeah, I had some frost in my car too, and I definitely had to turn the heater on when I got in. But we're not going to quite see as much of that. However, other parts of the state will have some frost warnings. Your 11 News weather. Hey, yeah, so it was definitely a chilly morning out there, but that often means comfortable afternoons. You can take a look outside right now. Beautiful, clear skies, at least down here in Provo. Sunny. We've had a few high clouds start drifting in from the mountains, but nothing too much. Currently, it is 43 degrees. That's probably kicked up a few degrees since we last checked. Humidity at 65% and wind speed really not happening. 0, and then occasionally a little breeze here and there. No real direction to it at all. It's just a comfortable, gorgeous afternoon. Cool, but nice. Tonight, though, going to be a little bit of a similar story to last night, and that is cold, 33 degrees, so right above the freezing mark. Not quite. I'm not ready for a freeze, but as Christy said earlier, we did get a little bit of frost, though no warnings, at least for Utah County. Few clouds and then sunset right about 6:46. However, as we said, not quite freezing here in Utah County, but then other parts of the state, specifically Grant County around Moab, that part of the state, they are going to see a freeze watch. Now, what is a freeze watch? You only get those during growing season. I'll step out here for a second, as it directly relates to crops. Towards the end of the season, you get these freezes that ultimately will kind of end your tomatoes and any sensitive plants. And so they send these watches out to let you know that, hey, this is going to kind of be the end of your growing season. And Moab is going to see those probably tonight. So not entirely, depends on what part of the area, but Grant County, again, on the east is going to have a freeze watch through Wednesday. Rest of the state highs. 50s for the Wasatch Front, 51 in Cedar City, 48 in Vernal, so not really getting out of the cooler temperatures in the Uinta Basin. And then St. George was a high of 69. And then for tonight, overnight lows, 20s and 30s are the story throughout much of the state. Salt Lake, not too bad at 37 degrees. St. George, 42, but then you can see the 20s, Nephi, Price, Vernal, all at 27. Definitely a pretty chilly night. Southern Utah, temperatures 69 today and Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday we'll be back in the 70s. So if you want to hit up Zion's, head down. It's a gorgeous weekend to do so. And then northern Utah, on the other hand, similar story, but just a little bit cooler. Temperatures 52 today, 54, and then 59 on Thursday. But take a look at Saturday. Sunny with a high of 60 degrees, so you really can't complain about that at all.
Nice. Yeah, I see that every week it's been going down about 10 degrees, but I refuse to turn my heat on still. I'm still in denial.
Good luck with that. So.
Well, I've been hearing a lot about this Boom Shakalaka. Clark, what is it? Are you going to be there?
Well, it's just a skills competition, Matt, and I was actually thinking about competing until I heard that there was a dunk contest. That kind of puts me out of the running because I can't jump. The judges for that event are they're announced, they're coming out. We have that for you, as well as this. Are you kidding? The Dodgers turned to a rookie to change momentum in the NLCS, and the LA pitcher turned in a star performance. And out of luck, what was supposed to be a shootout turned into an old-school slugfest on Monday Night Football, and the result may surprise you. Sports is next. BYU Athletics announced the first of several judges for the dunk contest at Friday's Boom Shakalaka basketball event yesterday. It'll be former Cougar Mike Hall, Hall played for the Cougs from 03 to 05 and was director of basketball operations from 2010 to 2013. If you're still not convinced about his qualifications, watch this. Hall drives the lane and oh, have mercy, absolutely nasty dunk. And now you know, dude's qualified for the job. One more time in slow motion with the facial. I bet he still tells everyone he knows about that one. BYU announced minutes ago that the second judge will be Miss Utah 2013, Marissa Powell. There's some motivation for you. The Boom Shakalaka Skills Competition is on Friday at 7 p.m. in the Smith Fieldhouse. Admission is free. Moving on to Lady Cougar basketball, who had their media day yesterday. The team says they are looking for more after a solid season last year when they made it to the third round of the WNIT. BYU has freshmen galore on this year's squad, so it's important that the returning starters they do have step up. That'll be Kim Beeston and Jen Hampson. Hampson's taking a red shirt from volleyball to focus all her energy on basketball. They'll also have Lexi Eaton back. She missed most of last season after an ACL injury. The season opener is against South Dakota State, those Jackrabbits, on November 8th in the Marriott Center. After a couple of gems from their starting staffs at home, the Cardinals threatened to put a stranglehold on the NL pennant. The Dodgers had other ideas, fans airing out their laundry before the game, and on the mound it's Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's the backdoor man. Gorgeous slider gets Yadi Molina in the first to strand one. Then Matt Adams, get on my level. Ryu carried a no-hitter to the fifth. Some offense now. Adrian Gonzalez plates the first run in the fourth with this double. Then, who's the most exciting player on the team? That's right, Yasir Puig. Puig thinks he's hit it out, but he's going to get into third standing up with a triple anyway. 2-0 Dodgers. Redbirds poised to answer in the fifth. Finally 2 on, and John Jay gets good wood on it, but right to Carl Crawford. But wait, what the huh? He didn't do it for Madden. Bring it back. Daniel Descalso caught in no man's land and gets doubled off. That is not fundamental baseball, and the Cards would never really threaten again. Dodgers add a run in the eighth and get on the board in the NLCS. Big win for them, 3-0. So with the win, the Cardinals won't have a chance to clinch a World Series berth tonight. The Dodgers will try to even things at 2-2 in the late game. But the day game ain't bad either, as the Tigs will send reigning Cy Young winner Justin Verlander to the Hill to face John Lackey and the Red Sox. We're heading down I-5 for some Monday night action. As my man Arnold would say, go Chargers, go. First play from scrimmage, though, for Indy. They call this a flea flicker, kids. Just like they do it in the backyard. 35 yards to Reggie Wayne sets up a Colts field goal. Bolts respond in the second quarter. Phillip Rivers over the top, looking for Keenan Allen. He is so hot right now. Consecutive weeks with 100-plus yards and a touchdown for Allen. I picked him up in my fantasy team before the show. Missed opportunities killed the Colts' comeback chances. Look, can't quite hook up with Darius Hayward-Bay on the deep ball. Then right before the half, Luck looking for Kobe Fleener. You get millions of dollars to catch the ball, man. Come on. Colts held out of the end zone all night, but Reggie Wayne becomes the 9th player with 1,000 career receptions with this grab in the 4th. Hall of Fame achievement for him, but it comes in a loss. Nick Novak puts the game away with this 50-yarder, and the Chargers top the Colts 19-9. Christy, big win for your Chargers last night.
I know, I was so excited. I almost wore my jersey today, but I figured that wouldn't go over too well.
Can't do it on the air.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Tugging tournament. See what annual event gets thousands of excited Japanese riled up in a back-and-forth battle. We'll be right back.
You thought tug-of-war was intense in grade school. The Japanese are taking the battle to a whole new level. The annual Naha Giant Tug-of-War celebration in Okinawa brought tens of thousands of people to the streets to play the giant game. The rope is made of rice straw and weighs 43 tons. The winner usually has to move the rope 5 meters, but this year it hardly moved. Everybody who participated got to take a piece of the giant rope home after the showdown.
Well, never seen anything like that. What about you, Clark? I know you lived out there for a little bit.
I lived there for 6 years. Never got a chance to go down to Okinawa to see that kind of thing, but it looks awesome. I want to go.
Yeah, when I played tug-of-war growing up, it was like a little rope, but I can't even imagine the rope burn you'd get from that thing.
Was huge. I don't know. It looks like it could crush a car.
How many tons did it say?
43,
a lot.
I think.
I want to know
That's
how
all
long
that matters.
Yeah.
Do they make a new one every year, I guess, then?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was massive.
Give it away every time.
Well, that's 11 News at noon for Tuesday, October 15th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.